Welcome back to Final Fantasy. In the previous episode, I defeated Garland, arrived at Pravoka, defeated the pirates there, acquiring a ship, and purchasing equipment and magic for my party. I have also arrived at Elfland. The prince here is in a deep sleep, and the warriors of light shall find the cause of this illness and save the people of Elfland. So let's get started. I enter the castle of Elfland, there being a locked room in the northeast. A man tells that Astos attacked the castle, putting the prince to sleep. I find the room where the prince sleeps, the aide there saying that the prince has been asleep for 5 years. Only the herb can wake him up. The man on the yard says that Matoya has the herb, while another in the northwest corner says that there's a cave where the dwarves live, on the west of Aldi Sea. I go to the town of Elfland. On this town are many facilities that include an inn, a clinic, a weapon shop that sells iron nunchuck, large daggers, iron staves, sabers, and silver swords, an armor shop that sells iron armor, copper bracelets, iron shields, caps, and wooden helmets, and an item shop that sells heal potions, pure potions, cabins, and houses, which are the ultimate in field resting items, also healing spell charges as well, although the game heals those charges after saving, so having tent backups is advisable, as well as soft potions, which remove the petrification status. This town has magic shops for both level 3 and level 4 spells. Level 3 white magic includes Cure 2, Harm 2, Anti-Fire, and Heal spells. Level 3 black magic includes the Fire 2, Hold, Lightning 2, and Lock 2 spells. Level 4 white magic includes the Pure, Fear, Anti-Ice, and Anti-Mute spells, while level 4 black magic includes the Sleep 2, Fast, Confusion, and Ice 2 spells. For white magic, Cure 2 is a stronger single target heal, Harm 2 is a stronger anti-undead spell, Anti-Fire and Anti-Ice grant resistance to the fire and ice elements respectively, Heal is a party-wide healing spell, Pure is a poison removal spell, Fear decreases the enemy's morale stat, which increases their chances of fleeing, and Anti-Mute removes the silence status. For black magic, Fire 2, Lightning 2, and Ice 2 are strong multi-target elemental damage spells, Hold inflicts paralysis, while Confusion inflicts confusion, Lock 2 is bugged and boosts enemy evasion, while Fast doubles your number of attacks. I buy an iron nunchuck for Jing, then talk with the townsfolk. One of them says that Astos is disguised and lives in seclusion. Another says that he found a spooky castle in the northwest, and a third says that silver weapons and armor are of high quality. I rest, then set out to the west. After finding mountains, I move northward, going around rivers, then finding a dilapidated castle, full of bats. In the front room there, I find the king, who says that he has been double-crossed by Astos, who stole his crown and hid it in the cave of Marsh to the south, and requests that it be retrieved. I return to Elfland, rest, then leave on the boat to find the dwarves. I head west until I find another port, dock the ship, then move to the southwest, where I find a cave, which I enter. In the room directly to the north, I find 2 chests, which hold 575 and 450 gold respectively. The dwarf in that room says that Matoya's crystal has been stolen by Astos. The northwestern room has a dwarf blacksmith, who promises to forge a legendary sword for the warriors of light, but he needs adamant to forge it. A nearby dwarf says that the earth rots from the west, a dwarf explains that bracelets can protect just as well as armor, another dwarf is looking for a floater, which has the power of floating objects. To the south is Nerrick, who has had his digging blocked by hard rock, and he needs TNT to continue. Near him is a locked room. I return to Pravoka, buying the ice spell for Jack, then go to Elfland where I buy 2 caps for Jack and Josh, and the heal spell for Josh. Then I set out to the Marsh Cave. New enemies that can be encountered along the way include Geists, undead enemies that attack 3 times with paralysis effects, that are stronger than ghouls, and Scorpions, decently strong double-attacking enemies that can inflict poison. I arrive at the entrance of Marsh Cave, rest on a tent, then enter. New enemy encounters on this floor include Shadows, undead enemies that can inflict the blind status effect with their attacks, but have absolutely no defense. Scum, maximum defense enemies that inflict poison with their attacks, they are weak to fire and ice. Crawls, which have very low attack, but can inflict paralysis with their 8 attacks. And finally, Muck, which have a pretty strong attack, but have low defense and are weak to lightning. I move north to the next set of stairs. In the second floor, new enemies include Gargoyles, decently strong enemies that can attack 4 times, and Redbones, incredibly strong undead enemies with high attack, defense and HP, while having decent evasion. I go to the room on the northeast, opening a chest that holds a large dagger, then go to the room on the northwest, opening a chest that holds 680 gold. Then go to the southern room, opening a chest with a short sword, which I give to Jack, and another chest, which holds 620 gold. I leave the cave, then return to Elfland to rest. At this point, Jing has enough naked defense that I give his cap and gloves to John. I also buy the silver sword for John, which is an amazing power boost. I restock, then set out for Marsh Cave again. This time I head south on the first floor. Once I reach the second floor, I go south, then go around a set of pillars finding a room, with a set of stairs on the other end of it, reaching the third floor. I enter the first room I see, which has a chest that holds a set of iron armor, which I give to John. I go all the way to the east, entering a room that has a chest that holds 295 gold. I go south, encountering another row of rooms, entering the second room from the west, opening a chest that has a house. I then go west to the first room, opening a chest with a copper bracelet, which I give to Josh. I move south to the third row of rooms, entering the third room, where there's a chest that holds 385 gold. I leave the cave and return to Elfland, resting and restocking. I then set out for a third trip to Marsh Cave. I trudge all the way through to the third floor and enter the second room of the third row of rooms, the chest there being surrounded by ominous statues. This chest is guarded by wizards. These enemies resist fire, ice, poison and status elements, attack twice with good strength, have good evasion and defense as well. Josh uses support and healing spells while John makes short work of the wizards with his high attack and crit silver sword, though the wizards are still capable of taking good chunks of HP. With the wizards defeated, I open the chest and find the crown. I leave the cave, then rest and restock on Elfland. I also buy Lightning 2 for Jack. I make for the northwest castle. I give the king the crown and he reveals himself to be Astos, the Dark Elf. Astos makes for a very tough boss. He has high HP, attack, massive defense and a multitude of spells, the worst being his opener, Rub, which can one-shot a single character. Dodging it relies on luck. At the very least you can save right outside the castle with a tent. After many attempts, I spam Lightning 2 with Jack, while John and Jig attack, getting lucky with critical hits. With Astos defeated, I get the crystal. I return to Elfland, buying a silver sword for Jack, rest, go to Coneria, restock, then sail around the Conerian Peninsula, docking on a port close to Matoya's cave. I go there, giving the crystal to Matoya. Being capable of seeing again, she gives us the herb. I sail back to Elfland, enter the castle, and give the herb to the prince's aide, who administers it. The Prince of Elfland awakens. I talk to him, receiving the mystic key from him. With this key, I can open many locked rooms. I enter the locked room of this castle, there being 4 chests which hold respectively a silver hammer, which I give to Josh, 400 gold, 330 gold, and copper gauntlets, which I give to John. By this point, I also unequip the nunchuck from Jing. He should be dealing better damage with his fists. I make a trip to Marsh Cave, going all the way to the 3rd floor. There's a 4th row of rooms here, which are all locked. I enter the first room, which has floor tiles with guaranteed enemy encounters, one of those having wizards, and the other a new enemy type, the Cobra. It has good stats overall, but their danger comes from their unusually high critical hit rate. Fortunately, both of those encounters can be avoided by swerving around the first encounter tile and opening the chest from the bottom, which holds the silver bracelet, which I give to Jing, since it surpasses his naked defense. I also re-equip him with the gloves. I go to the second room. This time, the encounters are unavoidable, so I choose to face the cobras at the bottom, rather than the wizards at the left, blasting them with Lightning 2. This chest holds a silver dagger. I then go to the 4th room, facing wizards that guard the last chest, which holds 1020 gold. I leave the cave for Elfland. I buy Fire 2 for Jack and Harm 2 for Josh. I make a trip for the northwest castle. There's a locked room here with 3 chests. If I were to try to open any of the chests from the bottom, I'd face enemy encounters which include images, undead enemies that inflict paralysis with their attacks, and mummies, undead enemies that inflict sleep with their attacks. Thankfully, the buggy status of the sleep status makes it less threatening than paralysis. I can avoid these encounters though, by opening the chests from the side. The first holds a falchion, the second holds iron gauntlets, which I give to John, while the third holds the power staff. This one-of-a-kind weapon is comparable with the silver hammer, having less hit but better crit, though its true claim to fame is that it sells for a lot of gold. I return to Elfland, buy Cure 2 for Jack and Anti-Fire for Josh. I make for Coneria, entering the castle and searching the 2 locked rooms. Each room has 3 chests. Right room has a silver dagger, a saber and an iron staff, while the left room has the TNT, an iron shield, which I give to John, and a set of iron armor. I then set for Provoca, buying Anti-Lightning and Mute for Josh, as well as Slow and Lamp for Jack. I return to Coneria and travel to the Temple of Fiends, and go to the southeast room, the chest there being guarded by gargoyles. I open it for a rune sword. The sword is supposed to be effective against magic and spellcaster enemies, but due to a bug, weapons that are supposed to be strong against specific enemy types don't get any boost. If these kinds of weapons aren't strong enough for the characters I have, I usually just sell them. I then go to the northeast room, the entrance also being guarded by gargoyles. The two chests here hold a weird sword, which was meant to be effective against weird beasts, and a soft potion. I set sail to the dwarf cave, opening the big room to the south, which holds many chests which respectively hold a cabin, an iron helm, which I give to John, re-equipping the cap to Jing, a dragon sword, which was meant to be effective against dragons, a silver dagger, a wooden helmet, a set of silver armor which I give to Jack, 575 gold, and a house. I then give the TNT to Nerrick, who uses it to create a canal south of the cave. I sail to Elfland, one of the elves there revealing that there's an airship buried somewhere, and then I stock myself with multiple potions for the journey ahead, and buying the anti-ice spell for Josh. I then rest on the inn. This has been a somewhat troublesome travel. The Marsh Cave, having many poisonous enemies, meant that I had to stock up quite a bit, but with perseverance I collected the crown, defeated Astos, the king of the Dark Elves, retrieving Matoya's crystal, got the herb from her, which woke up the Prince of Elfland, who gave me the mystic key. With this key, I acquire much gold and equipment, allowing me to buy many spells, while also acquiring the TNT, which I gave to Nerrick, opening a canal which will allow me to sail away from this inland sea to other lands. The earth rots from the west, and the Warriors of Light will see the cause of it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time, as we explore the earth underground.